Shabbat Shalom. It is almost time for Hag Sameach, which is what we say when we say happy holiday. Tu B'Shvat is coming. What is Tu B'Shvat? It's this magical, mystical holiday where we celebrate the changing of seasons in the trees in Israel. And I want to thank in advance Rabbi Lori Rice, who just sang with Miss Lisa Silver, our musical director, and Jerry Kimbrough's backing us up with some music. We got Jake Rosen here helping with the cameras, behind the scenes live control, and Misty always is helping with our sound. And we gather this evening on the cusp of this holy day where we celebrate nature, where we think about the environment. And so I have these ancient words. I'll tell you who said them at the end. They were not uttered in English first, but this is how they go. The voice of my ancestors said to me, the shining water that moves in the streams and rivers is not simply water, but the blood of your grandfather's grandfather. Each ghostly reflection as the clear waters on the lakes tells of the memories in the life of our people. The water's murmur is the voice of your great-great-grandmother. The rivers are our brothers. They quench our thirst. They carry our canoes, and they feed our children. You must give to the rivers the kindness you would give to any sibling. The voice of my grandfather said to me, the air is precious. It shares its spirit with all the life it supports. The wind that gave me the first breath also received my last sigh. You must keep the land and air apart and sacred, as a place where one can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by the meadows of flowers. When the last red man and woman have vanished with their wilderness and the memory is only the shadow of a cloud moving across the prairie, will the shores and forests still be here? Will there be any of the spirit of my people left? My ancestors said to me, this we know, the earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth. The voice of my grandmother spoke to me and said, teach your children what you have been taught. The earth is our mother. What befalls the earth befalls all the sons and daughters of the earth. Hear my voice and the voice of my ancestors, Chief Seattle said. The destiny of your people is a mystery to us. What will happen to the buffalo? if they are all slaughtered, the wild horses tamed? What will happen when the secret corners of the forest are heavy with the scent of many men? When the view of the ripe hills is isolated by talking wires, where will the thicket be? Gone. Where will the eagle be? Gone. And what will happen when we say goodbye to the swift pony and to the hunt? It will be the end of living and the beginning of survival. This we know. All things are connected. Like the blood that unites us, we did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. And whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. Chief Seattle was not a rabbi, but his wisdom intersects with the Jewish tradition, especially at this time of year. And we, like all things, celebrate nature in many ways. We begin this evening with the lighting of candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, creator of the universe, creator of the universe. By your commandments we are sanctified as we kindle the lights of Shabbat. Amen.
We continue together with the words of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor zachor b'dibur echad, hishme'anu el ham yuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem tiferet v'leitila. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lekrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mikor habracha, merosh mekeder nesucha, sof maaseh b'machsheva tchila. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'sehola, toch emunei am segula. Boi kala, boi kala. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
chanting of Hatzi Kaddish.
יתקרב ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחיל חון וביום החון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה. ברכו את אדוני
A comment or two on the succession of power before we proceed to our song of unity. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, the eternal God said to Moses, Kach lecha et Yehoshua ben Nun, take Joshua, the son of Nun, ish asher ruach bo, an inspired and decent man, v'samachta et yadecha alav, and lay your hand upon him. Vaya'as Moshe ka'asher tiva Adonai oto. Moses did as God commanded. Vayikach et Yehoshua, he took Joshua. Vaya'amdehu lifnei Eliezer hakohen lifnei kol ha'ida. And he had him stand before Eliezer the priest and before the whole community. Vayismach et yadav. And he laid his hands, both hands, upon him. Because Moses knew, however painful, that fully endorsing a successor was good for the nation. May this new administration for our American government hold fast to its rhetoric and make true an eternal belief in Jewish thought that we are all one. Our prayer for unity.
Adonai Echad. all your soul and with all your might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. And you will teach them diligently to your children, and you will speak of them when you're sitting in your house, when you're walking by the way, and when you're lying down, and when you're rising up, and when you're rising up. And you will bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they will be for frontlets between your eyes, and you will write them on the doorpost of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
In a moment, we will sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song celebrating God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, a song of peace.
Night long. Continue with our prayer for protection.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
We continue celebrating this day of rest, which is also a day of joy, with the words of Yismechu.
One, two, three, four.
So we thank Shabbat Shabbat for bringing some joy. We hope that joy also gets God's attention. If you're home and you'd like to, we invite you to rise. I'm going to open the doors of our ark, actually, so we can get a glance at the Torah during Tefillah, our central prayer.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Just a few moments of some silence, and Miss Lisa will sing us out with some love.
והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, סורי וגואלי. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, סורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Be acceptable unto you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
It's always at this point in our service that we believe God is especially more attentive. So we take a few seconds to think about our whole broken world and all of the sick people and all the grieving people. We mention specifically by name Sonia Marco and Steve Geringer, and Violet Colton and Michelle Giffen, Savannah Morris, Jane Sherberg, TJ Cohen, Andrea Ragusin, Florence Wittenstein-Saperstein, Linda McCormick, Dustin Speeden, Diana Page, Steve Henderson, Ron Galbraith, Paul Richard, Kenny Rogers, Debbie Rogers, George Kamatz, and Lee Cohen. We, of course, think of all those who are still suffering from illness, and we invite you to pray with us our prayer for healing. Join me. In the 6th century, before the Common Era, a celebration is at hand. A new Jewish baby has been born. One that will prove to play a significant role in the history of our people. It's a time of deep upheaval in the world, not unlike today. The destruction of the first temple in Jerusalem is coming. And not long after, the exile of our ancestors to Babylon. At this hour, there is rejoicing all throughout the Benjaminite village of Anatoth. Not Anatifka. That's a place with a story of its own. Here there is jubilation, elation, because it is the bris of the son of Hilkiah HaKohen, the Jewish high priest. The boy will become known in our tradition as Hanavi HaBocheh, the crybaby mystic. Wait, no, a better translation, the weeping prophet. Crying out at injustice. His prophecies, his predictions for the future, they are among the most stark and pessimistic in all of biblical literature. And yet, the boy will be revered in Judaism for his rebuke, his censure, if you will, of Jews who had surrendered to the depravity of fanaticism. The boy's English name? That of a famous bullfrog. For the word Jeremiah means complaint or lamentation, and the child is named Jeremiah. God has withdrawn all blessings from the people, he will cry out one day. Our citizens have deviated from the law. So far, they have broken the covenant. I am here to proclaim to the nation that it will suffer famine, foreign conquest, plunder, captivity in a land of strangers. All right, I don't want to attack the authenticity of this nice Jewish boy, Jeremy, or his ability to predict the future, but there were several people in our country who saw what was happening here coming. Jeremiah revealed the sins of the people and the punishment to come. He was brave, a hero in our tradition because he stood up to speak. In Jewish rabbinic literature, Jeremiah and Moses, they're often mentioned together, their life and works being presented as parallel lines. As Moses was a prophet for 40 years, says the Midrash, so was Jeremiah. As Moses prophesied concerning Judah and Benjamin, so did Jeremiah. As Moses' own tribe, the Levites under Korach, rose up against him, so did Jeremiah's tribe revolt against him. Moses was cast into the water, Jeremiah into a pit. Moses reprimanded the people, Jeremiah, he did the same. Much of the book of Jeremiah is a lengthy tirade against people and ominous warnings of the destruction to come. If they do not mend their ways, the whole land will fall ruin. Yelechu uvkardu mot ba'ula. Kechotvei eitzim, they shall come against her with axes, like hewers of wood. Kartu yar'ad ne'um Adonai, they shall cut down her forests, declares the Eternal. The prophet Jeremiah's reproof is no less commanding today. Destroy the world around us at our own peril. In this month of Shavat, when the weather begins to shift in Israel, Jews worldwide observe Tu B'Shvat, the new year of the trees, the 15th day of the month of Shavat. And the importance of the environment becomes a central theme. From and in addition to Jeremiah, there are 3 key values our tradition teaches about caring for the environment. Number 1, the world is not ours to do with it as we please. The psalmist sang out, the earth is the Eternal's and all it holds. As mortals, we are reminded by our tradition that we take possession of the earth not as its owners, but merely as tenants. And to take seriously the notion that we lease the land from God means that we are not completely free to do with it as we wish. In Genesis, humans are commanded to la'avda ul-shomra. And the word la'avot, right, literally means to serve, has the implication of to pray. So caring for the planet is an act of worship for us Jews. And lishmor means to guard. And here again, the choice of words is significant. A guard does not own what they're looking after. They are entrusted with its care. That's our task, to watch over the world that we bequeath to our children and grandchildren. Jewish value number 2. We do not control the world, we are a part of it. So Shabbat is this day of rest. It's a time to set aside labor, avoid it. And among the categories of work traditionally avoided are sowing and plowing. In essence, and don't get upset, pop up my father rice, one is not allowed to garden, not even water plants on Shabbat. In the biblical world, most Israelites were farmers, so caring for the land was work. But this law, we know, has deeper ethical intent. It's on this special day that we're not allowed to do anything that makes us think we control the world. Rather, on Shabbat, we're to humbly appreciate the beauty and the majesty of the world that's all around us. So as non-farm dwellers, which includes the vast majority of us, to get out into the garden for recreation, to see the miracle of growing things, this can help us realize that we are part of and not separate from the world. What's important, I think, is the ethical value of Shabbat as a day to connect more deeply with the natural world and its own rhythm. To concede that we are not separate, we are one with the world around us. Value number 3. We must be thoughtful in our exercise of power. For with great power comes great responsibility, says Rabbi Peter Parker. Judaism teaches that we are stewards of our planet, and stewardship implies a unique role that we humans occupy. In the biblical account of the creation, after humanity is created, God says, fill the earth and tame it. And this Hebrew word, v'chishbechu, generally translated as tame or master, or even subdue. It could be misunderstood as a sanction to do with the environment whatever we wish. So we got lots of commentators, lots of rabbis, like the 15th century Rabbi Ovadiah Sforno, who clarifies what God implies here. He says we have to use our intelligence to protect the world. And he is the author of a Haggadah that is often used on Tu B'Shvat that says the principle of wisdom is to extend acts of love toward everything, including plants and animals. So this has particular resonance now, this week in the Jewish world, as we, as a community at Congregation Micah, will be celebrating Tu B'Shvat next Friday night on Zoom. Join us. It'll be intimate. It'll be a reminder that we are guardians of the earth, God's gift to us. We are intimately connected to all other living beings, and that we have the power to destroy or maintain this beautiful sphere we call home. A responsibility we must use wisely to avoid our own peril. Join me for a moment once again at the Kiddush lunch. The celebration after little Jeremy's bris. Don't worry. No prophecies of gloom and doom. Only positive vibes. The rabbi's going to say a few concluding words. Life without Torah, without community, without divinity, it cannot flourish, it cannot grow. May this young child, known in the household of Yisrael as Yirmiyahu, son of Hilkiah, the high priest of the tribe of Benjamin, be not like a bush in the wastelands, which will not see prosperity when it comes, and live in parched places of the desert. No, rather, may the child be like a tree planted by the water, that sends out its roots by the stream and does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves always green, yet constantly bears fruit, even in a year of drought. And may our community and that of our descendants be nourished by the fertile soil of the Torah, by the Jewish community, spreading its roots and seeds all over the world. May none be overwhelmed by fear when the heat comes, whether by way of persecution or affliction, disaster or disease. And let us bequeath to our children a better planet than we inherited. To this child, to living healthy lives with much success in every generation, to life, l'chaim. Shabbat shalom.
דע לך שכל רואה ורואה יש לו ניגון מיוחד משלו. דע לך שכל עשב ועשב יש לו שירה מיוחדת משלו. שירת הסבים נעשה ניגון של רועה. כמה יפה, כמה יפה ונעים כשאומרים השירה שלהם. טוב מאוד להתפלל ביניהם ובשמחה לעבוד את השם ומשירת הסביב מתמלא הלב ומשתותף. כמה יפה ונאה כשאומרים השירה שלהם. טוב מאוד להתפלל ביניהם ובשמחה לעבוד את השם מתמלא הלב ומשתותף.
We continuing honoring the tree of life, Eitz Chaim, with the words of Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשינו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Honoring God with our mourning actually connects us to the land. Consider this midrash story about the weeping willow. In the Garden of Eden, only one tree drooped sadly when Adam and Eve were expelled. Unlike the other trees, who felt that the first human beings deserved punishment, right, for disobeying God, this tree felt sadness and regret. It had been a mere sapling for the first years of its life. Other trees actually kind of teased it and mocked it with names, Stumper and Baby Wood. During those early years, the tree wept continually. The soil became so drenched with its tears that nothing could grow near it. One day, a bat kol, a heavenly voice, was heard from above. "Do not despair," it whispered. "You have a special purpose. You were placed in the garden to weep at the death of other trees, of other animals, human beings. All that grows and lives must one day die. You will help those who must go on living, listening for the sound of their sadness." And now the tree had a mission, the task of mourning the dead. The tree's tears came when one of its sisters or brothers decayed and fell, when an animal died, or when rain drowned the insects. All were comforted, for they were not alone in their grief. This tree of lamentation grew from a small bent sapling into a sturdy sentinel of the garden. And the winds and the birds bore its seed all over the world, carrying its mourning into every garden and field and forest where plants and creatures lived and died. There are no doubt seeds planted here on the Micah campus, weeping willows who share our grief as we mention the names of those who have passed on recently, as well as those who have died at this season in years past. We think this year of Rich Michelle, of Henry E. Foyer, of Dr. Bob Sirkin, of Aidan Becker, Robert Golden, and Des Zamek, Elaine Farinacci, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Charlene Creeley, John Giffen, Faye Sirkin, Joyce Murray, Richard I. Bourne, and just now recently the passing of Fran Schmerling. We recall also on the anniversaries of their deaths Arnold L. Abrams, Jerry Alpert, David Onshell, Benjamin Barish, Jack L. Baum, Stephen Echlov, S. Bertram Friedman, Lisa E. Goldberg, Flora Goldstein, Lucille Hefetz Horowitz, Arnold Lefkowitz, Travis Brooks Lynn, Milton Lurie, Hyman Margolis, Mary Beth Millman, Eli Norman, Alan Perlman, Diane Roth Reinhold, Sally Schnecker, Helen Schultz, Irene Levy Schwetz, and Abraham Isaac Silver. If there's any names I've left off this list or ones you would just like to say aloud, we invite you to do so as I read the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chayei d'kol beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha brichu, Le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata tush bechata v'nekamata. Damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. V'noseh shalom b'mramav. U'ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We ask that the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say one final time, Amen. All right, we got some announcements, and then we got to make a kiddush. And unlike Rabbi Laurie, I'm going to read them. I'm just going to let you know, I'm not going to keep saying on Zoom, and I'm not going to keep saying the exact day. Just know these things are coming. We gather tomorrow morning for Torah study. It's a delightful group. If you just want to have some interaction and some deep conversation, it starts at 9 a.m. I will be there. Micah Minis is also taking place tomorrow at 10 a.m. You're going to sing, you're going to dance, cantor.
10:30.
10:30. It's not what it says here.
Uh-oh.
Well, tomorrow morning, if you check the website, you can join Lisa Silver and Julie Greenberg. Religion and Democracy is one of the classes that Rabbi Laurie is involved in. She's got a partner teaching that, an expert. That takes place Tuesday at 5. You do not have to have attended the first 2 sessions to still learn. Want to know about the afterlife? Rabbi Joshua Kulik and Rabbi Laurie Rice know, and they're telling everybody. Wednesdays at noon. Schmooze and Views, that's our political conversation. We let everybody get a chance to talk. Dr. Bob Smith does a wonderful job. Jewish Community Relations Committee wants to let you know that the Pulitzer Prize author Debbie Senzapur, author of Citizen 865, The Hunt for Hitler's Hidden Soldiers in America, is running a program Wednesday. That's next Wednesday, January 27th at 7. All of this is available on our website page. For the sake of repairing the world, the first session will take place Thursday. That's next Thursday via Zoom. As all this stuff, you can learn what is contained in our Jewish tradition and in our kishkas, by the way, that compels us to engage in the work of Tikkun Olam, making the world a better place. Micah Virtual Book Club, The Beekeeper of Aleppo, and that takes place Monday, February 1st. Getting to Know Jew. Oh, we're getting good. February 6th at 6, we're inviting members to attend and socialize. It's merely a social event, get to know some new people. Virtual Mahjong is now available online and occurring bi-weekly. Tai Chi is available for members. There's a password. You just got to go to the events page. And our next blood drive is scheduled for February 21st, and you can sign up for that on the events page as well. Got it all in, and we're still before 7 and can
All
make
right.
a kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hilkilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר לציית מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ויתנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim. A special thank you and shout out again to our tech team, to Jerry and Lisa for providing all the great music, and Rabbi Laurie for singing along. We will see you next Friday night, we hope, on Zoom with our Tu B'Shvat Seder. We got Shabbat Shaban taking us out with a new edition of Eitz Chaim. Shabbat Shalom.
A 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
Shalom Amen.